wouldn't change anything. I don't need to prove myself to those that, that's not on the team and those who's not franchise I'm going to lead.
Sanders downfield, got him in, touchdown, touchdown Colorado, Shedeur with a laser beam.
He's prepared for this next level in this journey that he's about to go, and I think he's the most equipped. So whether he goes 1, 2, or 3, he's exceeded all expectations.
And Shedeur is still my QB1, will be my QB1.
Week in, week out, I handle my business, I do what I'm supposed to do. You either see that or you don't.
Quarterbacks scheduled to arrive at the Combine on Tuesday. Their on-field workout slated for Saturday. The one guy we will not see throw in Indy, we know, is Shedeur Sanders. The Colorado quarterback considered to be one of the top 2 players at his position available in April's draft. And while he won't work out, he will be meeting with teams in Indianapolis. And not working out at the Combine has become sort of a thing for the top prospects lately. The last 5 quarterbacks taken first overall in the NFL draft did not work out at the Combine. The last one was actually Baker Mayfield back in 2018. As we welcome you all to NFL Live, I'm Hannah Storm. We got a full house today. Mina Kimes, Ryan Clark, Tim Hasselbeck, and Matt Miller. And Matt, we do have some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Guys like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, they all worked out at the Combine. Walk us through this decision and what your perspective is on Sanders not doing so.
Yeah, Hannah, it's not a huge surprise that Shedeur Sanders has opted to not throw at the Combine because we just saw him 1 month ago show up to the East-West Shrine game and not participate there as well after saying he would be. So this is kind of the method that they're going with this offseason for Shedeur Sanders. And as you mentioned, it has become par for the course for top quarterbacks to not throw at the Combine. However, the point that I would make is Shedeur Sanders is not the top quarterback in this year's draft. That's Miami's Cam Ward. And the fact is, this quarterback group is very unsettled. We don't have a number 1 quarterback like we did last year with Caleb Williams. Even maybe the year before with Bryce Young, where he felt like the number 1 guy throughout the entire process. This is a wide open race for the number 1 quarterback spot in the 2025 NFL draft. And this is a second opportunity now with the East-West Shrine game where Shedeur Sanders has said, I'm good. I'm going to wait till the next event. So all pressure now is on that Colorado Pro Day. Personally, I'm not a fan of this. I think you take every opportunity given to you to prove that you're the guy. We heard in the soundbite him saying, I'm going to be the guy. Go show that you are. CJ Stroud threw at the Combine. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. We saw 3 guys who were first-round picks last year throw at the Combine, and it improved their stock. So if Shedeur Sanders' camp would have asked me a week ago, I would have said, this is an opportunity to prove he's better than Cam Ward, to prove he's better than Jackson Dart, to prove he's better than whoever the hot quarterback of the moment is. Maybe it's Tyler Shuck, maybe it's Quinn Ewers from Texas. But this was an opportunity that I think Shedeur and his camp are really missing out on, where he could show that he is that number 1 quarterback in this class.
Yeah, I disagree. I think everything about Shedeur Sanders and all the talk surrounding him from the time he got to Colorado, maybe even Jackson State, has been pushing this narrative that this kid needs to be more or do more or be different than any other quarterbacks have because he is different. Maybe it's his last name. Maybe it's the way that he speaks. Maybe it's the way that he moves around that people don't like from the outside. But whoever threw at the Combine last year, it certainly didn't push their stock ahead of someone like Caleb Williams, who didn't throw, someone like Jaden Daniels, who didn't throw. Hell, Joe Burrow, who I obviously know was in a different position than Shedeur Sanders is, didn't throw at all, obviously because of COVID. So he didn't throw at the Combine. He didn't have a pro day. It worked out well for him. Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders and their camp are going to make decisions based on what they feel is best for him. And so many times we see some of these quarterbacks be more comfortable with throwing at their home pro day, throwing to the wide receivers that they know and maximizing their opportunities that way. And so I'm not going to come on this show and be different with Shedeur Sanders than I was with Caleb Williams, be different with Shedeur Sanders than I was with Jaden Daniels. It's a decision that he's make. He'll have an opportunity to be evaluated firstly by the film in the interview session, and then his pro days and private workouts if teams choose to do so.
Yeah, I just don't think it's surprising to see a guy who's, projected to go, just let's be conservative, first half of the first round. Like, it doesn't often make sense for those guys to throw. And I think some of the guys that we've had on the list, that have thrown in the past, like, they can throw in anything. Like Josh Allen can throw anywhere at any time, and it's not going to matter. And I think you could say the same thing with certain other players. And that's not to be critical of, guys that aren't throwing, but they just aren't assured that they are going to throw great every time they go out and throw, especially in an environment that they're not controlling themselves. And so, I think, when it comes down to it, like from a team evaluation perspective, sure, they would love to see you do it. But from a player perspective, if you cannot do it and it won't impact where you get drafted or at what level you get drafted, then it really doesn't make sense to do it. Like I just remember being at the Giants, and Eli always joked about how like he had never been timed in a 40 ever in his entire life. Like, guess what? Like that wasn't by accident. Okay, and so like the reality is like a similar thing can happen. When you're talking about throwing.
Yeah, I completely understand why he's not doing it. Throwing at the combine is no longer a must. You do it, as Tim pointed out, if you have the utmost confidence in your arm strength and your arm talent. The quarterbacks that have been named who did do it over the years, a lot of them were guys with stronger arms. And I don't think Sanders has much to gain from doing it in that environment where you're just being compared to other players in this one metric. And really, I don't see how that benefits him in the pre-draft process. I will say, though, it does, to me, highlight the discrepancy between him and Ward to some degree, which isn't to say Ward's throwing, but rather the difference in arm strength and arm talent, which is just my biggest question mark about Sanders. He is accurate. He is smart. He does not have a cannon. Now, you can make up for that in the NFL with anticipation and accuracy, but what it means is that the margin for error you have is smaller because you're not able to compensate for, to make problems right solely with your arm. So I don't think this was a must for Sanders, but to me it does highlight, or at least draw into question, what I personally believe is his biggest weakness.
Oh, it's definitely not a must. You're 100% right there, Bina. And he will still be drafted probably in the top 7 picks. And again, it's become the norm for guys not to do it. My stance is this is a missed opportunity to leapfrog a Cam Ward or to put more distance between yourself and those other quarterbacks. Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe. Those guys are all going to be throwing, we anticipate. So it's more about, can you put that distance between yourself? And Ryan mentioned Caleb Williams didn't throw last year. J.J. McCarthy did, and I think that helped him. Bo Nix did, and it definitely helped. And the guy that helped more than anyone last year was Michael Penix Jr., who has a much bigger arm than Shedeur Sanders. But, Shedeur's trademark, like his business card as a quarterback, he's accurate as all get out. He's surgical. C.J. Stroud was the same way and put on one of the best throwing performances ever at the Combine. And I do think it helped separate him from Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. So is it a must? Is he going to fall down my board because he's not throwing this week? Absolutely not. But it is a missed opportunity for him to make up some ground with the guy, Cam Ward, who is right now the consensus #1 quarterback.
Yeah, and obviously he is going to throw and work out at Colorado's Pro Day, and that'll be a popular one. Travis Hunter there as well. By the way, the date on that is not set yet. All right, we have some
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.